Baseball, America's pastime. A game woven into the very threads of our national identity. A game of legends. Of Ruth, Robinson, and Mantle. But before the greats ever stepped onto the diamond, a myth was born. A myth about a single man and a single moment that never happened. This is the story of Abner Doubleday. He was a decorated officer, a scholar of battle and history, and somehow became the accidental father of a game he never claimed to invent. The year is 1839, and a young cadet named Abner Doubleday takes his first steps through the gates of West Point. He is sharp-minded, disciplined, and fascinated by the rules and strategies of warfare. But outside the academy walls, boys gather in dusty fields, swinging crude sticks at homemade balls, early versions of a pastime still searching for its true shape. Doubleday sees none of this as destiny. His future lies not in games, but in service. In 1861, the first shots at Fort Sumter ignite the American Civil War, and Abner Doubleday is there. His courage under fire helps the Union hold its ground in the war's opening act. From Gettysburg to Antietam, Doubleday commands troops in battles that decide the fate of the nation. He becomes a symbol of loyalty, resilience, and tactical brilliance, a man of duty, a man of history. But nowhere in his journals, nowhere in the official records, does he claim to invent baseball. His battlefield achievements fill volumes. His connection to baseball? Not a single word. While Doubleday spills ink on orders and strategy, baseball is quietly evolving in America's cities. In New York, a fireman named Alexander Cartwright and the Knickerbocker Baseball Club draw up early rules. They came up with foul lines, 3 strikes, 3 outs, and 90 feet between bases. Their version spreads like wildfire. Soldiers take the game with them into camps and battlefields, carrying home both the scars of war and their newfound love for a bat and a ball. Baseball becomes a symbol of unity, a way for a fractured nation to heal. And still Doubleday remains unaware of the legend forming around his name. Fast forward to 1905. Baseball is booming. Fans pack ballparks. Rivalries ignite. The game is becoming part of America's soul. But the sport lacks something important. A backstory, a true origin. A founding moment that fans can point to and say, this is where it all began. Enter A. J. Spalding, baseball executive and marketing mastermind. He wants to prove that baseball is not a borrowed game from England, not cricket, not rounders. No, baseball must be purely American. And so, a commission is formed. Testimonies are collected. Evidence, or something like it, trickles in. Then comes one letter. A letter from a mining engineer named Abner Graves, claiming that young Abner Doubleday invented baseball in Cooperstown in 1839. No first-hand proof, no corroboration, just a story. But a story powerful enough to reshape history. Why Doubleday? Because he was a patriotic hero, a military icon, a man whose image could uplift a sport into mythic territory. Truth was optional, legend was irresistible. The commission announces its verdict. Abner Doubleday invented baseball. The statement echoes across the nation like gospel. Children learn his name in schoolbooks. The myth cements itself into American culture. Even Doubleday's own silence, his lack of ever claiming the role, is overlooked. When the National Baseball Hall of Fame opens in Cooperstown in 1939, it does so on the very foundation of this invented origin story. A shrine built not to the father of baseball, but to the idea of one. Decades pass, historians dig deeper, and the truth becomes undeniable. Doubleday was not in Cooperstown in 1839. He wrote nothing about baseball. He never mentioned the sport. And during the time he was supposedly sketching rules in the dirt, he was focused entirely on his education and military discipline. Instead, baseball evolved through countless hands, factory workers in northern cities, soldiers in muddy fields, clubs founded by everyday dreamers, innovators like Cartwright and Doc Adams who laid the game's true foundation. Baseball has no single father, it has millions, so who was Abner Doubleday? If not the creator of baseball? He was a man of intelligence, a man who stood firm against rebellion, a man who later led efforts to improve veterans' lives, who studied astronomy, who authored books on history and warfare. His legacy is not a diamond or a dugout, it is the preservation of a nation and the pursuit of knowledge. But myths are stubborn. Doubleday remains forever tethered to the game, not by his own claim, but by the desire of a country to believe in a heroic origin. Today, kids still make pilgrimages to Cooperstown. Fans still speak his name with reverence. And the story of baseball's birth still begins, in many hearts, with Abner Doubleday. Because sometimes, legends aren't about facts. They're about identity. Baseball needed a father, America needed a story, and Abner Doubleday became both. As you watch the game, as you feel the roar of the crowd, the crack of the bat, the magic beneath stadium lights, remember this. Baseball was never invented in a single flash of genius. It was grown, nurtured, shaped by a whole nation. And while Abner Doubleday may never have touched a bat, his myth reminds us of something far greater. Heroes are not just made by their actions, but by the stories we choose to tell. This is baseball. This is America. And this is the myth of Abner Doubleday. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of baseball's past.